not such a fun fact. People fail boot camps all the time. In fact, it's quite common among students who are not prepared. However, if you invest time researching, discovering your motivation, and working hard, you should be able to prevent coding bootcamp failure and land a job in tech. Hi everybody, it's your host Samantha and Zona, and we're back with another episode that you don't want to miss on Deeper Than Tech podcast, where we talk about how to grow your career in an industry that was not designed with us in mind. We'll be diving deep into this topic, but before we do, if you're loving this podcast so far, make sure you share it with a friend or a coworker and let us know on Instagram that you're actively listening. Let's start off by talking about what you should do before your first day of boot camp. How can a student prepare?
I don't know if there's much preparation for it. Personally, I got to my boot camp by accident, if I'm being quite honest. I actually found my boot camp through a random tweet of someone on Twitter. He based his Twitter on providing resources for people, especially people of color, to be able to break into tech. And so I found my boot camp through a retweet of his boot camp that I joined this year called 100 Devs. I was not expecting. I was literally in bed at 7 a.m. on my phone, didn't know what to do. And I saw it was free. It was a free boot camp. And at first I thought it was a scam because there's not a lot of free boot camps out there. And I know regular boot camps are usually tens and thousands of dollars. I was like, you know what? Let me check it out, see what it's about. And I did. I was really captivated by Leon Noel, who runs it, because he was going through a very difficult situation. Coding was the only skill he had. He put out a Craigslist post and someone pretty much took a chance on him and paid him up front to build a site, and that changed his life. This boot camp was pretty much him paying it forward, and especially since the pandemic, a lot of people, millions of people lost their jobs. He wanted to help people transition to tech because obviously the money is really good in tech. The quality of life is way better. There's a study in I guess the top happiest jobs, I think in America, and software engineering was on the top 3 the happiest jobs. I just wanted to change my life personally. I had personal goals and I was looking to change my personal situation in life, and I went for it. I stuck through it, and now we're a year in. I completed the boot camp, and yeah, it's completely changed my life for the better.
Oh, that's so cool. I can confirm that software engineering is the happiest job. It should be number one. I love what I do. But I actually never heard of 100 Devs. And I'm guessing a lot of people haven't either, right? So can you explain a little bit more about how that process went?
Yeah, to kind of follow up on what I just said. So yeah, 100 Devs, 30-week bootcamp of where you learn full stack web development. So front end and back end, and the main language that we code in is JavaScript. As far as the front end, we learn JavaScript and then eventually React. And for back end, we're learning Node.js. JS. It's not only just coding, but we also learn how to network throughout the bootcamp as well. He teaches you how to network early, actually, because we actually started networking since month 2, which apparently not a lot of bootcamps do, because, a lot of bootcamps, you're straight coding, and then you focus on networking later. And so he encouraged us to start building networks, start building friendships really early in the bootcamp, so that by the time we finish, kind of 6 months later, we already pretty much have a list of people, of friends, that I could go back to and be like, hey, I just finished, the boot camp, wondering if you're a job or if you could lead me to other jobs and kind of help get a referral. Because I feel like a lot of jobs, I could attest to a lot of personal jobs I've had were mostly through referrals over just applying for a job. And so that's something he teaches. He also, teaches resume building, does classes teaching you how to build your resume, how to build a cover letter, how to have soft skills, not just technical skills, but soft skills, how to properly present yourself and speak, maybe hire engineers and things like that. So it's all that encompassed with 30 weeks, and it's a great community. Once you join, there's a Discord community with thousands of people who are amazing, absolutely amazing, and willing to help you if you ever get stuck in anything. That could definitely lean on that community to help out. So, yeah.
I love the structure of this boot camp. I think he's doing it 100% right. You should start networking as soon as you can, because when you graduate, applying to jobs blindly is not going to be the way to do it, because somebody has to give you a chance. But if you know somebody in the industry who has that like opening, it's a lot easier. That's how I got my job. Like I probably applied to like 80 jobs, but I got mine through a person that I knew. Without that chance, I'd probably still be here at my old job. But I'm glad I'm not, because software engineering is the happiest job on earth. Thank you. A lot of people actually go to coding boot camps because they're like, okay, tech is I can get rich really quickly. What was your motivation to going into boot camp?
My motivation was to change my life, I guess. Money, in a sense, was that, because yeah, when I saw those average salaries, I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot. A lot more money than jobs I was used to. Money is good. And especially if coming up with a home environment where you didn't really get a lot of opportunities and things like that, I thought that was really good. And also felt like I found my personal purpose in life, because I've always been interested in tech for as long as I can remember. I just never knew where to start or what that looked like. I didn't mention this, but this is actually my second attempt learning to code. My first attempt was back in college and ended up dropping out because I had a really good professor. He ended up leaving the next semester. The guy that took over was really bad, horrible, and I didn't have a community to lean on at that time. I just dropped out. I just got really discouraged and dropped out. And so this time around, I just wanted to make a change in my life, especially after the pandemic. Dude, you can't really depend on regular 9-to-5s. Job could go, layoffs, especially with the economy now, your job could go. Definitely want to set myself up for a career, and I have future goals. I want to travel, and I know in tech there's a lot of jobs where you could work remote and pretty much be able to travel and bring my laptop and code. I think that's pretty cool.
It's very cool.
Yeah, it's really nice. And also other goals, I have a boyfriend who's also doing an engineering, and so we're trying to plan to start our lives together and things like that. And so yeah, those are things that really motivated me to continue to pursue this.
I love all your motivations. You also mentioned about you didn't have a community when you were in college to help you get through. How do you find a community when you're in a coding boot camp? I guess there's people around you already, but how do you still get that support?
Yeah, I would definitely encourage people to reach out. I found, some of my friends, we built relationships through me just reaching out and doing a coffee chat with them. Hey, if I see their Twitter page and I love their content, I think they're really cool, have cool personalities, I would DM them, straight up DM them, hey, I would love to have a chat with you and see where you are in your journey, how I could help, and things like that. And through that, I was able to build really good, solid relationships and people that I've met literally, on the internet, and I call them really good friends. They're my really good friends, people I could, turn to whenever I hit a wall, or if I hit that trough of sorrow, so sort, they know they could relate, because, it's hard going to friends and family that can't really understand, they don't know what we're doing. And so being able to turn to people that know the struggle as well is very, very important. So I would say, yeah, just reach out to people that inspire you. That's how I got some of the mentors I've had, was through just reaching out, putting myself out there.
I have cried multiple times when I went to coding boot camp. It's it's a full-time gig. You're going from 9 to 5. Then you have to study afterwards because you don't have enough time in class. There's a lot of burnout happening. How can you avoid burnout while going to a coding boot camp?
Oh, I think it's something very important. And I know Leon, who leads my boot camp, this is something he said early from the day one, is to learn to manage your frustrations, because he told us straight up, this is not going to be easy. This journey is not going to be, all cake and sunshine, that you will, it's a matter of when. It's not if, it's when you will hit a trough of sorrow. I know for me, I feel what kind of led for me to burn out a couple times is comparing yourself with other people. Because we don't know everyone's story. There's people that joined the cohort and had previous experience in coding, myself. There's people that are transitioning from all sorts of different industries, healthcare and teaching, and they don't know anything about coding at all. When you go into this and see people tweeting, building dope projects and things like that, or they're getting concepts super quick, and you're here and I'm here oh my God, what am I doing wrong? You're kind of self-doubting yourself, and whether you could do it, or why you're not learning learning quicker or as quick as your peer and things like that. And so I would definitely be careful of that, because I've seen people like definitely take it one day at a time, because I've seen people in the beginning of my boot camp kind of have this grind culture where they would like study for like 6-10 hours a day, which I would not encourage you to do, and they would literally like just burn out. I know it happened for me, and I would have to there were times where I took days or even weeks off from coding because I would go on the computer. I did not want to look at code at all. Like it got to that point, and that's when like I would go to my boyfriend like, yo, I think I'm burnt out and whatnot. And so you definitely need to go at your own pace, you know, take it one day at a time. If you're stuck, reach out for help. And if you need a break, it's okay, you know, to take a break. I know for me personally, I've learned I would do sessions for about maybe 3 to 4 hours and then like I'm good with that. Like anything, I guess more than that, I guess for me as of right now is like too much, you know, and take it one day at a time. Don't compare yourself with other people because that will kill you, you know?
Yeah. That's a life lesson. Just don't ever compare yourself to other people. We all have different experiences. People all come from different backgrounds. No one's going to be like you. So why are we comparing each other? It's hard though, because social media, you fall into that comparison. Like, why can't I be there? But don't do it. Life lesson. A lot of people actually think because somebody else did it, right? Like we're talking about comparison, I can do it. And like the coding bootcamp is just going to hand you out the graduation certificate. Like who's responsible for your success while going to a bootcamp?
Easy answer, you. You're responsible. You are responsible for your success. Don't depend on, you know, any one person, you know, at the end of the day, like you have to deal with, you know, you know, definitely, yeah, you're responsible for your success. You can't like totally depend on this people or this one person to kind of hand out a job to you. That's not reality. That's not gonna happen. You have to put in that work. Definitely, as long as you surround yourself, I feel like with people that are like-minded, have the same goals as you, that's gonna motivate you to push further. I feel like finding those 1 or 2 friends who could encourage you, because it's hard. It's really hard and it's a lot, and you've got to work at it. Anything in life, you have to work at it. Nothing's gonna be handed to you for free. So just work hard and motivate yourself. Sometimes I have to hype myself up, you know, because I can't depend on my boyfriend or my friends or my parents or families to hype myself up. They can hype myself all I want, but if I don't see it within me, then I won't, I guess, achieve my potential. You know, you have to see it in yourself eventually.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. It is definitely up to you. It's not up to the bootcamp for you to succeed. They're there to give you guidance of like what you should learn and give you tips, but it's your responsibility to sit down, study, and get the work in. Thank you so much for listening to another episode. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.